You make this person so happy. You are their favorite notification. Every time you send them a message, that pops up on their phone, chimes on their phone, they get really excited. This is somebody who looks forward to time that they get to spend with you, time that they get to talk to you, or even kind of just like quiet and alone time where they can think about you, they can daydream about you. This is somebody that it feels like is feeling the pull towards you. They are answering the call within their heart that is encouraging them to continue to be very proactive and very patient with where you are at this particular point in time, but to not miss out on any sort of opportunities to evolve your connection forward with one another. This is somebody that definitely wants to let you get to know them better, both the light and shadow aspects of themselves, and they're very eager to kind of see you in like your natural habitat, your natural environment. How you are after you have become comfortable with someone and the performance kind of like is complete and the masks can come off and more of like the hidden self or the authentic self can be revealed, because this person sort of senses that whatever they know about you so far, whatever they have experienced with you and how they've shown up so far as well, as is natural anytime you meet somebody new, there's been a certain level of like, okay, there are aspects of me which are hidden. It's performative to a certain extent, even with the most authentic and genuine people. When you're meeting someone for the first time or it's like a newer relationship, there are these different layers that we must cross through, that is built very gradually with trust, kind of like those access points to more of the inner sanctum is earned through time or experience. And so this person feels like what they know about you so far is just, it's very wonderful. It's very delightful. It is very fulfilling. But there's a sense of kind of like, okay, I sense that there are these deeper layers to you, maybe these paradoxes within you that would cause me to sort of rethink everything that I have known about you before, not for the worse, but like for the better. This person senses that to kind of earn your love or to earn a place of significance in your life is something that would be a really big blessing for them. And they are also very eager to kind of showcase aspects about themselves that are usually sort of obscured, hidden from the eye, are not kind of customarily known by people, like friends or acquaintances or even people that they've dated casually. Sort of aspects about more of like their true self, even dreams and aspirations, ways in which they sort of think about life, they think about love, or they're capable of showing affection to another or receiving affection in return. There's a sense of like, you seem like the type of person that would be able to resonate with, to appreciate, to reciprocate very deeply on more of these special levels, more of these personalized levels, more of these, kind of close and intimate levels. Yeah, we got the Six of Wands. So this person feels very confident that things will continue to progress very beautifully between the two of you. This is somebody that is not sitting in the energy of fear at this particular point in time. Any challenges that you might be experiencing, maybe things that have come up with your work, with their work, different sorts of like obligations and duties and life in general, or just the sense of like where you're at this particular point versus like where this person wants the connection to sort of head towards, that may be causing them to chomp at the bit a little bit. They're very excited to kind of take things to the next level, but they're taking into account sort of like where you're at right now. This is somebody that does not want to overpromise and underdeliver. And so there's a sense of like, okay, we're steadily moving forward from where we are at this particular point in time, but I am very optimistic that we are headed on like an upward swing in terms of the narrative arc between the two of us. This person sees that you are very aligned with them energetically. You're very aligned with their interests, with their desires, with kind of their mindset, or the way in which they sort of manage time, or kind of balance that sort of work life and play life, that this is something that you fit in very well with one another in that capacity. And so this is somebody that it feels like they are looking towards the future with a sense of sort of like, yeah, this connection is worth fighting for. It's worth fighting through any sort of obstacles or challenges we may be facing currently or that could come up in the future, because you are somebody that the experience of being with you makes me feel very victorious, makes me feel like I've done something right in this life to come to this point in my reality where I have the opportunity with someone like you to explore love and partnership and romance. And also, this person feels like it would be definitely to their advantage, to sort of call you in closer to their world, to their reality, to who they are as a person, so that you can start to sort of build more of that importance with one another on a day-to-day basis, leading to long-term progression. This is somebody that sees you as a keeper. They don't want to let you get away. They don't want to let this opportunity, sort of fade away. They don't want the passion to diminish between the two of you. If there have been circumstances, maybe again like work or personal things for you, for them, or for both of you that have kind of made sort of like the time you've spent together be less than it is usually, or the communication has kind of dropped off a little bit, this is somebody that wants to put forth a lot of extra effort, it feels like, in the coming days and weeks in order to really kickstart things again, so that you understand like they really miss you when they are away from you. This is somebody that is not like taking a step back because I don't know what I want, I don't know if this is the right thing. This is somebody that's like, I wish that I could just sort of put you in my pocket and bring you with me wherever it is that I go. I wish I had the time to, sort of be with you more, or talk to you more, or have our beautiful experiences with one another. So this is something where, when they have that opportunity to kind of give more in the situation, show up more, they got more time, or they work through whatever it is that they have going on at this point that maybe has even just made them a bit sort of energetically distant. Like even if you're still having your like regular communications, this person may almost seem very distracted, very tired, very stressed out, and there's a sense of they don't want you to kind of confuse that with sort of disinterest in this situation, or an indicator that they're getting ready to bail out on you. This is somebody that is like, no, I want to make sure that like I'm really into you, I'm really into what we have with one another, this is the best thing that has ever happened to me, and I don't want to let you kind of get away. I don't want to let this sort of moment pass us by, and so it feels like it's something where they're planning to kind of stoke the fire between the two of you, sort of add into more of that passion, more of that appreciation, more of that kind of like deep experience with you, so that you understand even in the times when they may be sort of pulled in another direction, or just don't have like the energy or the level of enthusiasm within themselves that may usually be present to sort of show up in that way for you in the connection, that this doesn't mean that it's like the spark between the two of you is fading away at all. We've got the Magician. Yeah, so this person has like something that they're planning. They got some tricks up their sleeve in terms of like how they're going to impress you, how they are going to, sort of invite or compel this kind of like next chapter between the two of you to unfold. This is somebody that, has allowed things, it feels like, to progress very naturally. They've tried not to control the outcome in this situation, but it's like they almost want to sort of seize the moment and like, okay, let's sort of force our next chapter to begin with one another, because I don't want to sort of like take the risk of, again, anything that may kind of go on with this person's job. They're stressed out, things going on in their life or things that you have going on. They don't want you to think that they're like complacent, or that they're just kind of like, that there's a stagnancy between the two of you, or that this is somebody that's very undecided as far as what they want. And so, instead of just kind of having like, a chat over text about sort of like, these are my intentions, these are my thoughts, these are my feelings, hopefully you're okay with sort of what we have to do maneuvering to the next phase with one another. This is something where it's like a bold gesture. It's something that really lets you know like, wow, okay, this person really does prioritize this connection. They're really, falling for me as much as I am falling for them. They are really interested in sort of working with the challenges that we are each facing at this particular point in time in order to make sure that like the future with one another is secure. It feels like this will demonstrate love as an action word, as far as like whatever they have planned as the next sort of demonstration for you, something that makes it like very unmistakable, like beyond a shadow of a doubt that this person is totally into you, they're totally into this situation, and they want to work with you to create more closeness or even more compromise if there are things that are like, keeping you kind of at a distance, or there's, they're again like busy, stressed out, low energy at this particular point in time, or maybe you're showing up in that way to the connection because of things that you have going on. This is somebody that doesn't want to sort of let that be the breaking point between the two of you, but this is something where it's like, yeah, we can figure this out together. I will stand by you through this experience, or I would like if you would stand by me through this time period. And then there will be a light at the end of the tunnel. And let me point out when that will be, what that will look like, and sort of interesting steps that I want to take in the meantime in order to make sure that, we're still keeping that spark alive between us. We also have the High Priestess. So this person's feelings for you are a lot deeper than you realize. This is like still waters run deep. This is somebody that has like also sort of a grand romantic gesture or speech, or like an occasion, a moment that they have planned out in their head. They've rehearsed it. They have picked the moment. So this may be like a future time, an event, a date that they're like, yeah, I'm gonna ask you to accompany me to this, or I'm gonna meet you there, or we're gonna go do this. And rather than it just being like an activity that we have fun, together at, this is gonna be the place where, I kind of like bring in this level of romance personally, face to face, that lets you know that I feel things very deeply. And not just in general do I feel things very deeply, but I feel things very deeply for you. So this is somebody, again, that holds you in a very special place within their heart. You have captured this person's heart. They only have eyes for you. They don't want you to kind of maybe let fears get the best of you, thinking that they are keeping their options open, or that they're not sure what they want, or, maybe they're still sort of looking for that wish fulfillment elsewhere. This is somebody that wants you to know very certainly that, like, yeah, I prioritize you. I prioritize this connection. Even in the times where, there's so much that I could say, but I'm not saying, or it's just not the right time to say it yet, that doesn't diminish from the fact that I feel so deeply for you already. This is somebody that's almost like protecting the future potential between the two of you, by being very mindful, not to like walk carefully at this point in time, but very mindful to make sure that like there are a sequence of things that make you feel very appreciated, make you feel very seen, may make up for any kind of like hurt feelings, or periods of time where maybe they haven't been able to be in communication as much. Things have changed within their life, or within your life, that's created sort of alterations within your dynamic, or periods of time where you're just sort of left in that energy of like, hey, I'm daydreaming about this person, but we don't really have that much contact with one another. This is somebody that wants you to know it is never out of sight, out of mind with you, that you occupy a very unique, very special, very sacred place within their heart, and they only have eyes for you. Yeah, we got the Ace of Cups. So this is definitely, this person is a lover boy at heart, or a lover girl. This is something where how they present usually, it may be something that they have like a very sort of free-spirited energy. They're very easy to talk to. They're very approachable. But there's also this deeper kind of layer of like a sensitivity, or like a sensuality about this person, where they have been waiting to align with somebody for quite some time that they could just adore. This is somebody that believes in kind of love as an act of worship. This is like, I want someone we can just like worship each other. We can just adore one another. We can just pour into one another in a variety of ways that is different from, casual experiences, that is different from, just like surface level connections. It's like this person has been seeking like a deep soul connection with another person. But then the problem is sort of like, okay, well, how do you present that? How do you actively go out and find that with another person? How do you sort of vet out potential, candidates for romance along those lines of like, I'm not just looking for surface level, I'm looking for that soul deep kind of love. And so it feels like with you, this has happened very organically, very naturally, where they've gotten a lot of confirmations within that the vibe is right, that the undertone in your experiences with one another and in the communication is right. There's just enough level of like suggestiveness and flirtation and like an element of mystery amidst everything that you have like revealed to one another outwardly, or that you've stated very directly in terms of, you know, your needs, wants, and desires. There's a sense of almost like there's a modesty to this, and yet it is very risque. This is something that is almost like a dream come true. It's like an indulgence for this person when they dip into that heart space, and it's like, I don't just lust for you. This is like something that is even the makings of deeper than love as I have known it or experienced it up to this point in time with other people, but it quenches and satisfies that almost like soul yearning, that connection with someone on that vibrational plane. Like this person doesn't just like feel their emotions for you in their heart, it reverberates throughout their whole soul. When you speak life into their soul. So this is somebody that it feels like they definitely, again, like don't want you to slip through their fingers. They don't want you to be the one that got away. And so they are very kind of aware of areas within this connection that could use sort of a boost, could use some more clarity, could use, some more special attention. And so working with kind of their circumstances at this point in time and whatever you've got going on, this is somebody that is definitely gearing up to, demonstrate that appreciation for you, not just in the sense of like some sort of immediate kind of goal of like, yeah, I want closeness, or, I'm just sort of like seeking sexual intimacy, or, kind of like promises and guarantees that like, stick with me through this time period and I promise it'll be worth it. This is somebody that is wanting to make sure that just for the fact of it, that you understand on some level that you mean more to them than you think, and that this is somebody that is capable of like a deep and profound level of love, and they are working towards that with you. This is not somebody that fears love. They may have feared love with other people and other connections, but when they look at you and they sit in the midst of this energy and in this circumstance, even when they kind of, get up in their head and they start thinking about things, there is only certainty. It only makes sense for them to continue to move towards you, and this with an open heart, with an open mind, because they feel like almost the stars inside of themselves have aligned as far as you are concerned. When they look into your eyes, they see a doorway to eternity. And rather than that being something which evokes a lot of fear within, it's almost like this is home, this is the place, this is the soul that I have been meaning to align with for quite some time. So definitely expect this person to kind of, turn up the heat as far as, their romantic gestures, or the ways in which they sort of show you a level of devotion and appreciation that you might not have experienced from them yet, and likely have not experienced from other romantic partners in a while, or perhaps ever. So those are your messages. I hope that they resonated with you and that you enjoyed the reading. Like or comment to claim these energies. Subscribe to my channel if you'd like to see more content that I put out here. Don't forget to hit the bell button to get notifications every time I post a new video. And if you would like to book a personal reading with me, I offer those through my Etsy shop, and there's a link for that below. I hope to see you again in another reading. Please take care and be well.